Yes, sister, most welcome.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
I'm asking from the perspective of a teenager. Today it's very common to have people so-called falling in love, and I would like to know that how do I convince my Muslim friends who have so-called fallen in love to go about, and how to refrain from falling into the vices of staring and stuff like that. And the second question is that if the girl or guy is virtuous, then how should I ask them to go about?
Sister has a question that now it's common amongst teenagers and among the friends that they fall in love. So how can she convince that falling in love is wrong? And what if the girl and boy are virtuous? Correct? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean if the girl likes the guy and the guy is virtuous, so the guy likes the girl and the girl is virtuous. Without haram activity, that is telling or anything like that. Just liking the girl for her character, modesty and stuff like that.
First thing, that normally when teenagers fall in love, normal style, so how can you convince it's wrong? And on the other hand, if they are virtuous, then is it allowed without staring, without haram, is it allowed or not? First, the general category of falling in love, how does it come about? It comes about by breaking the hijab level. It's not like that, sometimes wonder, why is this girl choosing this boy? The boy is so ugly. And so, this girl is so ugly. So it is when you talk, you start liking things, it may be weird. So therefore, interaction, too much unnecessary interaction between the opposite sex is to be prevented. Not that you can't speak, but if you speak to opposite sex, you have to lower your gaze. So all these things happen because of not following the hijab level. Maybe the girl is not wearing the proper clothes, Islamic clothes, or the boy is not wearing. Or maybe they are wearing Islamic clothes, but the clothes per se is not only hijab. That is one aspect of hijab, the extent. The extent, it should be loose, it should not be glamorous, it should not resemble the opposite sex, it should not resemble the non-Muslim. Besides the clothes, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you behave, the way you think, all this comes into hijab. Just by wearing a clothing hijab, and if you don't talk properly, how are you? Well, very good. There should not be too much compassion. So automatic, whether you are wearing hijab, how are you? There's so much of depth and so much of modulation and so much of love in the voice. The talking is not Islamic. That doesn't have to be stern always, it has to be normal. Same thing the way you walk. You may wear a hijab and you may not walk properly. The way you think. You may wear a hijab and you may stare and you may think, whatever it is. There's bird watching going on in schools and colleges. So talking, walking, thinking, heart, niyat, everything put together. So when the hijab is broken in any of these aspects, there are high chances that infatuation will come. And that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our creator, Almighty God has made us. If you keep on talking opposite sex and nothing happens to you, then you require a psychiatrist. If you keep on talking often to an opposite sex and say, I talk but nothing happens to me, so you require a psychiatrist. Something has to happen. There's something wrong with you. If you follow Islamic principle, lowering the gaze, saying to it be in the hijab level, then nothing happens, that is fine. Then you are a normal human being. You keep on talking, hello, hi, shaking hands, comment, pinching, everything, it goes on. So these things, that's the reason then you fall in love. Now, in these cases, in colleges and schools, the criteria for love is far away from the Islamic criteria. 99.9% it is not virtue. If it was virtue, one of them would have stopped. Maybe he is virtuous but not very virtuous, but alhamdulillah better than the others, and yet he may fall in love. That's possible. He may not be able to tempt the feeling. If the hijab, the girl or the boy has a little bit lowered and they get into that infatuation, attraction, and yet they may be virtuous but not totally. There's nothing like love before wedding in this sort of cases. So there's nothing like LBW, LBW you have in cricket, nothing like love before wedding in Islam. Therefore I always say, it is more important to love the girl you marry than to marry the girl you love. It is more important to love the girl you marry than marry the girl you love. We have these Romeo and Juliet, Layla, Majnu, Shiri, Farad. And people say that if Layla, Majnu or Romeo and Juliet would have married, they have come to know what is the problem, they would have had in married life. So it's always more important to love the girl you marry and to marry the girl you love. Now coming to the second scenario, where sister has asked that there's a girl and a boy. Both of them are Islamic, both of them are virtue, but they fall in love. One side, two sides, she didn't say. One side. One side. Two sides is difficult, no? to virtuous. So she's taken on the one side, falling in love with the person, and the thing is there that Islamic, is it allowed? So if a person is a virtuous girl, she is not breaking any rules of the hijab, she is following all the hijab rules, talking, walking, everything, alhamdulillah. But she knows of a person who is also virtuous, and she is fallen in love. Is it accepted? It is accepted. Accepted that she desires to marry a boy who she knows of, who is Islamic, it's accepted. But it's not the love that you have in today's age. That is one-sided. The best is, if she knows that she should propose. Simple. She should propose Islamically. Maybe through a brother, through a father, through uncle. Send the proposal. So if she's fallen in love, fine. That should not stay for long. Fine. As you said, teenage. Fine, teenage also no problem. On the higher side of the teen, no problem. Propose. Send the proposal. Don't wait for too long. You may never know, you may break the barrier of hijab. No, she's Islamic. She's not done anything wrong. She's fallen in love. Propose Islamically. If you don't propose, then there may be problems. You may not be able to maintain your hijab level. So she sends the proposal, and then if she's also Islamic, and he also wants Islamic girl, everything goes fine. If it doesn't, then leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then if she's Islamic and if he has rejected her, then she should try and find someone who's more Islamic or less Islamic who likes her. So Islamically, if she likes someone on the basis of Quran and Sunnah, because he is virtuous, no problem, accept it. She has not breaking law of the Sharia. She should send the proposal as soon as possible. Don't wait. Send the proposal Islamically. Then we can have a meeting, have a talk, have a chat. If he accepts, alhamdulillah. If he doesn't accept, no problem. She finds someone else and he finds someone else. Hope that's the question.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
I am the coordinator. Even I wish to ask a question.
Sure, most welcome, sister.
According to Islam, what are the important duties of a wife towards her husband?
As far as the duties of a wife towards the husband is concerned, but natural, she should see to it that she is a good wife. As I started my talk today, the session, with the verse of the Quran of Surah Baqarah, chapter number 2, verse 187. Hunna libasul lakum wa antum libasul lahunna. That they are your garments and you are the garments. Your wives are your garments and you are the garments. The men, the garments of the wives. Now what is the role and duty of a garment? The main duty and the role and the purpose of a garment is to protect one another, is to conceal one another, is to beautify one another. So the duty of the husband and wife that they help each other, they conceal each other's faults, they beautify each other, and they strengthen each other. So this is the role of somewhat like hand and glove. Furthermore, if you analyze that the Quran has referred to the woman as Muhsana. Muhsana means a fortress against the devil. In several places in the Quran. In Surah Nisa, chapter number 4, verse number 24. In Surah Nisa, chapter number 4, verse number 25. In Surah Ma'idah, chapter number 5, verse number 5. In Surah Nur, chapter number 24, verse number 4. In Surah Nur, chapter 24, verse number 33. In several places, the Quran refers to the woman as Muhsana, who is a fortress against the devil. So it is the duty of the wife to be a fortress against the devil for the husband. Means she should see to it that she remains the Muhsana for the husband, that she sees to it that she keeps the husband on the straight path. If you realize that the husband is deviating away from Quran and Sunnah with a little or more, you should be always present to see to it that to prevent him from deviating. Whether it be he's offering salah but may not be getting up in the morning, example. So you as a Muhsana, see to it that you get up, keep an alarm, wake him up nicely, with love, with affection, get him up. So you are a Muhsana. If you know he has some vices which he may have fallen into, so you see to it that you are compassionate to him. And with love, see to it that the relationship should be hand in glove. You should not be, oh, you're doing something wrong. Or the question is haram. Fine. So with love and affection, you should see to it that he's on the straight path. So these are the basic ones, hand in glove and being a Muhsana. Furthermore, all the duties that are there, taking care of the husband, see to it that you obey him, and see to it that you get him closer to Quran and Sunnah. You have to follow almost everything what he says, unless those things which is against Quran and Sunnah, if he tells you, that's the only time you can disobey him. For example, if he tells you not to wear the hijab, that time you not follow him. But otherwise, if he tells you something Islamic, you follow. If he tells you something which is mubah, also you follow. So in this way, the duty of the wife is to keep the husband happy. It's the duty of the husband to keep the wife happy. It's not a one-way traffic, it's a two-way traffic. As it's the duty of the wife to see to it that she satisfies the husband, it is the duty of the husband to satisfy the wife. As I mentioned earlier, that the beloved Prophet ﷺ said that the best amongst the believers, that was the best to his family, especially the wife. So it's a two-way traffic, and nikah is a marital contract. Nikah is a marital contract. It's an understanding between both of them. And how well they live, how well they understand each other. It all happens if you're close to the Quran and Sunnah. But see to it that not that you are only outwardly close to Quran and Sunnah. It should be inwardly. If a wife gives respect to the husband automatically respects the wife. If the wife does not respect the husband will not respect her. Even if the husband is bad, if the wife is good, the extra good she is, the more easier for the husband to come and be good to her. That's what the Quran says in Surah Anfal. That don't defeat your enemy, win over the enemy. If you win over the enemy, you'll never know that in whose heart was enmity would become your friend. That goes in generally, that also goes for the spouses. So relationship, sister, is more of a hand in glove. Hope that answers the questions.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
My question is, if a husband and wife are staying together, they're married around 10 to 12 years, and these 10 to 12 years, they're just staying with each other just for the sake of it. They are not actually involved with each other, and they're just staying together to show others that they are husband and wife. Is the nikah valid?
Just ask the question that if two couple, man and woman, are married with one another, they're staying for more than 12 years, but they aren't having a relationship, but they're just telling to show the world, is the nikah valid? Is nikah valid? Why should the nikah break? Nikah is valid. Whether they want to continue or not is secondary. Whether the good husband and wife is there, but the nikah is valid. Because they are married. If they did the nikah according to the Quran and Sunnah, the nikah is valid. They have not said talaq. Talaq is not that valid. Both may not be good husband and wife to each other, that's a secondary question. Because having relationship is not compulsory for the nikah to continue. Having relationship is not compulsory for nikah to continue. So they may not be good husband and wife, but the nikah is valid and they are yet husband and wife. Hope that answers the question.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Now